Okay, the Mechaber differentiated between if you take wool, an animal was bowed to, and you take the wool and you spin it into threads, you're not Yotzei. Because since, even though for an ordinary usage it's permitted, because if you worship a living creature, it doesn't affect it in regard to its whether it's permitted or not. But to use it for Dvar Mitzvah, it's something which is considered tainted and it's not appropriate. But what about if you have flax growing in a field and they bow to the flax? Again, the flax itself doesn't become Yisur no. Because anything which is attached to the ground, even if you worship it, is not affected. But because there, if you go and you take the flax, which is considered wood, and you take the fibers and you spin it into thread and make thread, because there's no recognition between what was originally bowed to and the end product, therefore it's not considered inappropriate. But wool, which the difference between fleece and the spun thread is not that much of a difference, so it's recognizable that it's the original fleece, therefore it's considered inappropriate. That's the Mechaber. No, we're talking about they worshipped. An animal was bowed to for Avodah Zorah. We're talking about Avodah Zorah. Lamed Vov. Posul. I'm Besim Tov Kofei Vov, Mograv Rom Sif Kotten Vov, Masik Lefi, Dasa Mechaber Shom, Hai Posul Ein Rak Lechatchilo, Mishum Demois. When it says posul means it's inappropriate, it should not be used. It doesn't mean if you use that wool, those strings, you're not Yotzei. You'll be Yotzei. I'll be the Eved Yotzei, Chen Kosva Agrob, Simin Zeh, hear this? The Vilna Gaon concurs with the Mogen Avram that you Yotzei. Even though posul normally means it's not valid. Well, in the Eved, Machlokas Shnui, he says whether Yotzei or not, this is the Machlokas. According to the Mogen Avram and Vilna Gaon Yotzei, others say you're not Yotzei. Tzitzis. Kosovo, let's tell me, he's saying something interesting. The oldest Talmud writes, the wool, the fleece that's on the animal, when it's bowed to, that wool cannot be used, as the Mechaber says. And the wool that grows afterwards, because the animal already was worshipped. He differentiates. The fleece that's on the sheep when it's bowed to, that you're not permitted to use, because it's inappropriate. But what about the fleece that grows afterwards? Since that fleece was not on the animal, you're permitted to use it to use it for tzitzis. I mean, the animal itself cannot be used as a korban. So where did from what kind of animal is the fleece growing on? What kind of animal? An animal that can't be used for a korban. So why, even though if the fleece grows later, it also should not be able to be used for a mitzvah? It's no different. So the way I understand it, if you say it's a question of l'chadchila b'di'evid, even if you use the wool yotzei, as according to the Mogen Avram and the Vilna Gaon, posul means l'chadchila. So you can hear. So if the wool was there when he bowed, that's inappropriate. That's l'chadchila, it should not be used. B'di'evid. What about it wasn't there? Since in either case yotzei, the question is, when is it considered appropriate or inappropriate? If it's there, it's inappropriate. If it grew later, it's not inappropriate. You understand? Even though, I mean, for a korban, you can't use it as a korban. So you understand? A mitzvah is not korban. No. Because it's the same thing.
If the wool is coming from the grave.
No. Again.
If it was out there when they worshipped it, then they were basically worshipping that fleece as well.
No, they're worshipping the animal. The animal has fleece on it. Doesn't make a difference. It's still mechuber. It's still considered part of the balchai. It's part of the animal. No, I'm saying like this. The halacha, if you bow to an animal midoraisa, that animal cannot be used as a korban. You bring it as a korban, it's posul. But he's saying for tzitzis, posul means l'chadchila. So evidently, because a mitzvah is not the same thing as bring a korban. The sensitivity for a korban is much more delicate than a mitzvah. Okay, so we deal l'chadchila. So l'chadchila you shouldn't use it. B'diavad yotzei. But you can understand it because it's not appropriate. Inappropriate doesn't invalidate something, right? So that I hear, if when you bow, the wool is there, I understand. But if the wool wasn't there, it just grew later, it's not so inappropriate. Therefore, even l'chadchilo, you're able to use the fleece that grows afterwards on this same animal.
Could you shift practice on it?
Yes, yes.
So what about the law that anything that's idolatrous has to be completely destroyed?
That's only an object. An object. The Gemara says two things. Mechuber lekarka, a person worships a mountain. The mountain's permitted. Because it says, the Pasuk, when it says, Elohim al horim, the gods on the mountains, but not the mountains themselves. So that's mechuber. But what about, the Gemara says, an Asherah tree? An Asherah tree started off as a sapling. You plant it in the ground as, it wasn't mechuber, right? Where you put the seed in the ground. When you plant something, even now that it's mechuber, it wasn't originally mechuber. When we speak about something that's attached to the ground, means naturally it's attached. Okay? But by an animal, a balchai, again, you slaughter it, okay, so it was slaughtered. So you did the ritual for idolatry for the animal, it becomes Yisur Ano. That's called takruf avodah zarah. It becomes an object of idolatry. But here he's worshiping a living animal. It's not affected in terms of becoming not permitted to benefit from.
Can eat it.
Can eat it, 100%.
Why is that?
It's all based on psukim. It's all based on psukim. No, because that you did a ritual to it. You did the ritual. If you do the avodah that you do in the Beis Hamikdash to the animal, then that animal becomes, it's called takrufas avodah zarah. Okay? Not, okay? The tzitzis, we said, datua. The mechaber said, what about if you have flax that's growing? Avo lepishton shu nekar, oz nesafi lehedjit. What about the flax was removed from the field, and they bowed to the flax? The flax already was cut. So you have stalks of flax, unprocessed. Looks like stalks of wood, or cellulose, whatever, right? No. That's metalplin. That the object is an object of idolatry. Here, it's not affected. If the fleece is on the sheep, that's the sheep. For ordinary usage, it's permitted 100%. If something's growing for ordinary usage, you want a linen shirt, 100% permitted. We're talking about the appropriateness or inappropriateness for a mitzvah. But what about if the flax was cut? You had bundles of flax in the field, and somebody bows to the bundle of flax after it's been cut. You could turn it, change it 90 times. There's no semblance of recognition. You're not permitted to benefit from it. It's Yisur Ano. Because the halacha is if you worship metalplin, something which is immovable, it becomes Yisur Ano. Once something is Osam Ano, Osam B'cholov. You make it look like it's a tomato. Doesn't look like milk and meat. You're permitted to eat it. I mean, factually, it's made of Yisur Ano. Regardless what form or shape it's in, you're not permitted to benefit from it.
When the flax was attached to the fork was cut, you bow down to it.
No. Same thing. A tree, you plant a tree, then you bow down to the tree. The tree's not affected. The Asherah tree, it's planted as it's planted for idolatry.
The flax is not planted.
Exactly.
So if you bow down to the flax,
Flax is not affected.
not affected. So if you then cut it,
It's not affected. You're permitted to use it for tzitzis. What about if
only after it's cut.
after it's cut? So now it's not considered attached to the ground. It's an object. Object becomes Yisur Ano. You're not permitted to benefit from it. Okay? He says, "Avol the pishton shenekar." If the flax already was uprooted from the ground, was nesafi lehedjut. Even the ordinary person is not permitted to benefit from it. Kidin avodah zarah v'tikaruso. It's the idolatry and what was used for the idolatry. Ve'idamo lo shinui. That you alter it and change it, that it has no semblance of what originally was. It's all shekol shta mahavim mimena hariv kamoa. Whatever is developed as a result of it, it has the same status as originally what was Yisur Ano. Okay? But it's a separate discussion. That's Eino Damos Adam Shein Shalom. If somebody else bows to somebody else's animal, it means nothing. No, we're talking about the person himself. The person himself. The Gemara says unless he does an action, he has to do some kind of action. Third party. But by not engaging with it. But if he engages with it, he lifts it and then he bows. Okay. A little further. Chaber. Now, the hole in the corner of the garment, where does it have to hold? Where does the tzitzis have to be attached? To the konof. Konof means the corner. So let's say you make the hole too high up, right? Let's say it's 6 inches from the edge. That's not considered corner. It's too far up. Okay, so we'll see. Yased nekev ba'orech hatalis lo l'mayla migimel etzbos. It should not be higher more than 3 etzbos. That's 3 inches from the edge of the corner. If you measure etzbos, etzbos really means the thumb joint. Yeah, the thumb joint. Hainu gudolim. That's the godel. He says it means referring to the etzba means over here the thumb, which is menesha eno nikra konof. If it's more than 3 from the edge, it's no longer considered konof. It's no longer considered the corner. You're putting it on the garment. And it should not be less than from the thumb joint to the end of the finger, which is a little bit longer. Right? It's less than 3. Let's say it's within the range is within 3. So it should not be above 3. Now, how close to the corner to the edge could you put it? It should not be less than from the knuckle to the tip of the finger. Okay? It doesn't. It says it should be on the konof. That means a little higher up. That's called under the konof. It has to be al hakonof, not tachas hakonof. Hagol modim zeh v'yoshev v'lo v'lachsum naker. What?
What's tachas hakonof?
It means the corner. It's like it's at the bottom of the corner. It has to be inserted in the corner, not at the bottom of the corner. So we say if it's less than kesher agodl, that's the bottom. Let's say a person puts it at the very edge. He puts it at the very edge. He puts the string through the corner. So that's at the edge of the corner. That's at the edge of the corner, and that's not the corner.
Then they're puzzled.
Then it's not valid. See, we'll see in a minute. If you make it correctly, then it tears down. Right? It's kosher. Because these tzitzis, when they were put in the tzitzis in the corner, when it was put in properly. But we'll see.
If the hole extends, which happens, then...
No, it gets torn.
Yeah, but if it gets torn down, it's a puzzle.
No, it's kosher. It's kosher as long as it's not detached from the corner.
Usually they reinforce the whole thing.
That's why the hole is always reinforced. They sew around the hole to reinforce it for that reason. Okay? Yasa nekev. You should make the hole. Kozbeis Yosef. After Yeshomin, Yasa beis nekovim. Kamot Seri. This is, you ever seen the Lubavitch tzitzis?
They have 2 holes in the...
They have 2 holes. The way most tzitzis are made, it's 1 hole, and half the strings hang on one side, half the string on the other. The Lubavitch, it's like 2 eyes, and they put one side of the string through one hole, and the other side of the string through the other hole. So therefore, they hang from the same side of the garment. It's not to hang on both sides. So he says, because the Beis Yosef, there was such an opinion. The Arizal, that's Arizal, has had to that. After Yishomen the Yasa beis nekovim kamot tzeri, you should make 2 holes similar to the tzeri, the valid tzeri. V'yalto tzitzis b'soch miyotzis l'tzad echad. So if that's the case, both tzitzis, both sides are hanging on one side of the garment. Ein loch shlizeh. So you don't have to take that into consideration. That it has to be made. You have to have 2 holes. 1 hole sufficient. V'abod lahachmir al atzmo k'chirotzi b'zeh. Einu min ha'machmir elu min ha'masmin. Person says, well, I want to assume that chumrah. He says, it's not considered you're being more stringent. You're creating a situation where people are taken aback. People wonder, what's this person all about? The merzikura, you hear this? Because it appears like arrogance. Everybody has 1 hole, so you have to have 2 holes. But so if you wear tzitzis outside your pants, and not only that, it's more, you have to wear the garment outside. Right? Even if a person wears the tzitzis not in his pants, but the corner garment's in his pants. But Hasidim, they wear it on top of their shirts. So the garment, or the edge, is fully exposed. So you see clearly whether it's 1 or 2. So if the average person wears 1, you have 2, or you have 2. Well, I want to be machmir. Who do you think you are? Most people don't take it into consideration. Well, you never know.
He's more holy.
The Bach disagrees. He says you should have 2 holes. The Bezelo Mer Securo. Why? Because the Bach says since you wear the garment in your pants, you don't see it. So how are you displaying something which causes you to appear to be arrogant? One doesn't notice it.
Bach is not saying that you can, he said you should.
No, he says you should. You should. And the only reason why not is Mer Securo. So since you wear it in your pants, so there's not Mer Securo, you don't have the negative side of it.
Bach thinks that the right
It's
thing
better. It's better.
What about a big talus? Bach said the same thing.
No. Big talus he would not say
He
it.
would not say, just a small.
He's talking about the talus cotton, the talus that you wear. But again, probably the Bach, where he came from, it wasn't like the Hasidim. They didn't wear the garment on top of their shirts. They wore the garment in their pants, so you didn't notice it. But the others in other communities where they wear it on top of their shirts, it's a problem.
That's just a reflection of the environment and how safe it was.
No. Chikos beKavoros HaRizal here. No again. The Kavoros HaRizal says the Rizal, he conducted himself, he had 2 holes in his each corner. Omnom Birki Yosef Kosav Shehid Marash. He says the Birki Yosef says the Marash Shem HaMarenu Rav Chaim Vital Oviv. The Marash was the son of Rav Chaim Vital, who recorded all the writings of the Arizal. He was the closest student, and he was designated to record all his writings. So the son of the Rav Chaim Vital writes, Ovid lo noakein. Even though the Arizal conducted himself this way, his father, Rav Chaim Vital, did not. He had 1 hole, he did not have 2 holes. He says, and the prevalent minog in Poland is 1 hole, not 2 holes. Omnam b'mdinas Hagar uba Ashkenaz enogein. I don't know what Hagar is.
Hagar, it says.
What?
It says
Hungary.
Hagar. I don't know. if that's-
Hungary.
Oh, maybe.
So,
Okay. And Ashkenaz in Germany,
Let's see.
V'naro pashte, means let the river flow in its direction. I mean, whatever the minig is, let that be the minig. Minig's 2 holes, it's 2 holes. So again, if the only reason is mersikura, because it appears to be arrogance, so if it's the prevalent minig, it doesn't look no different than anyone else. It's only if you wear that kind of garment in a community where they don't have 2 holes, then it looks like something which is unusual. People take notice. That would be considered arrogance. Either one.
According to the Bach, when he says, Talit Katan, it's as if he favors that opinion. And the only thing that's preventing him from doing the big one is...
Everybody agrees it's a chumrah. If you have 2, it doesn't validate. It's definitely a chumrah. But since it's not prevalent, it looks unusual. Why all of a sudden are you assuming this? That's the reason why it causes the person to see it, to be arrogant. Like we have a Mishnah. The Mishnah says that if a person is a Talmud Chacham, he's permitted to behave a certain way. Like it says they start fasting. When you have a problem, Mishnah says in Tainus you start fasting. It hasn't rained, so initially who fasts? Only the Talmidei Chachamim, and eventually everybody fasts on Monday, Thursday, Monday. So what about a person who's not a Talmud? Is he permitted to fast? It's just an argument. The Chacham says he's not permitted to fast because it's Mersa Kura. All of a sudden you become a Talmud Chacham. Only Talmud Chacham, they're fasting. You don't belong here. So it's a display of arrogance. It's the same thing. If it's not prevalent, so why are you doing it? So therefore it causes the person to, it indicates you're arrogant.
By definition, a chumrah is something that you should do or should do.
It depends what it is.
So a chumrah means, like here,
See, either way it's kosher, it's 100% kosher. It has a certain aspect at another level. I'll give you an example of certain people. They sleep with tzitzis at night. At nighttime. Because the Arizal slept with tzitzis at night. And this person, he told me he sleeps. If he would do other things correctly, I'd say, okay, you sleep with tzitzis at night. All of a sudden, now you're becoming the closest thing to the Arizal, because you sleep with tzitzis at night. No, it's not. No, whatever it is. First of all, you want to do it, do it. What are you telling the world that you sleep with tzitzis at night? What? But he's telling people. Okay.
So something like this, is there, we just think of it differently, like today, I don't know what percentage of people that are wearing tzitzis are Hasidim. It's not just like a 2% number, it's probably, I don't know what the number is.
With tzitzis?
Who are wearing tzitzis, so I would say a significant percentage are wearing tzitzis with 2 holes, so it's not considered something arrogant.
Today people don't even know the difference. You think they even look whether it's 1 hole or 2 holes.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah, I guess I grew up in
I know.
It's in the communities. If your community does this way, so you don't appear different than anyone else. It's only when you appear differently than everyone else that then becomes people take notice.